What's going on today, YouTubers? Welcome to another edition of Walking Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at a custom knife, and this is the Mini Valve Flipper by Gerry McGinnis. So real quick, let's go ahead and jump into the specs. 3-inch blade of CPM 154 with a hand rub satin finish. See if I can get that to focus. And the blade is completely sterile on both sides. No maker's mark, nothing. It's I guess what you would call a modified sheep's foot blade shape, and kind of a hybrid flat slash hollow grind. Like it's more hollow ground back here and then almost completely flat ground towards the tip. And it's got just a tiny little swedge there, and both the spine and basically anywhere that's not part of this giant flat grind there is polished along with the hardware. So the handles are just under 4 inches, so about 3 3/4. You've got carbon fiber on the show side. I don't know if you would call that basket weave or lightning strike. I think that's just basket weave carbon fiber. And on the lock side we have an orange peel finished titanium with a carbon fiber backspacer. I am really a fan of this orange peel finish. I've had other knives with orange peel titanium, but this one is a little bit deeper. It's not just like a surface finish, and it actually gives you just a little bit of tactility to the titanium. It's not really slick, and I just like the way it looks. I wish more production knife companies would get into the orange peel finish. You really only see it on custom knives, but I think it definitely adds value both aesthetically and, you know, as far as in-hand feel to the knife. So but you know, I really don't know the process behind orange peeling. I don't know how arduous it is, so who knows if that would ever happen in a production knife. This knife flips extremely well, which is even more impressive when you realize that it's on washers. I would have sworn up and down that this was on bearings until I took it apart, and there were 2 bronze phosphor washers. But this thing, very fast flipper, just like the Proline Mini Exo that I did a review of. Gerry is like a master when it comes to detents. They're not too hard, they're not too soft, they just make for extremely quick flipping action and fun knives to play with. You can see this obviously isn't a fall shut type knife, but I really attribute that to the washers more than anything, and I'm definitely happy to have a knife this smooth on bronze washers. This is I guess a little bit of a wider profile for a knife than I would normally go for, but that's just because that blade is so wide, and that actually makes for an extremely good slicing knife. This is one of my go-tos when it comes to small kitchen stuff. This is what I'm putting in my pocket to do, just because of how well, I mean, the edge is obviously a huge part, and he does a tremendous edge on his knives, but the grind and the blade shape just lend themselves perfectly to slicing. Ergonomically, the handle is a little on the smaller side. Like I said, it's just under 4 inches. I can still get just about a 4-finger grip on there. My pinky starts to slide off a little bit, but the finger choil is good. You got a little bit of a thumb ramp here. No jimping, like I said, it's just polished, but it's definitely not uncomfortable in the hand, but it's not the most, you know, you're not getting the best grip on this thing either. The lockup, as you can see, right at about 30%. There is a tiny, or I guess there was a tiny bit of lock stick. It's starting to work itself out now. I don't know how this knife wasn't used more extensively. This is one of Gerry's earlier flippers. This is actually made, I believe, in November of 2011. And it's like a brand new knife. I don't know if it just had touch-ups or something like that, but it feels like a brand new custom knife. As far as likes and dislikes, I've already kind of gotten into that. The ergonomics could be a tiny bit better as far as like down here at the end, but that's not anything I can really complain about. It's supposed to be a smaller knife. The weight is awesome. I think it's just under 3 ounces, so I think like 2.9. He does pack a very large amount of blade into a relatively small handle size. So like I said, like a 3-inch blade into an under 4-inch handle. That's pretty great blade to handle ratio. The flipper is awesome. You have jimping for both styles of flipping, so if you want to do light switch, you can. You want to do push button, you can. It's definitely a little bit faster with the push button, but they're both extremely fast. Centering is right there, pretty much spot on. Maybe a hair to the show side, but I don't mind that as much as when it's to the lock side, because generally as the lock softens up over time, the blade should move the other way. I'm not a giant fan of back spacers, but this one looks nice. I think it goes well with the carbon fiber show scale. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the orange peel finish on the titanium. I like how he did the hardware. It's almost recessed into the, it is recessed into the carbon fiber so that it doesn't, there's nothing that shows this way and it doesn't catch on anything in your pocket. And obviously it's only one-sided hardware, so you really don't have any glaring, screws showing on this side other than the pocket clip. Obviously the pivot here is just one male side, and the female side does not move, so makes it easier for maintenance. The tolerances are really nice. It has an internal stop pin, so no stop pin showing. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about. The choil here, well, not a choil, it's a little sharpening choil, I guess you would call it, is really well done so that the blade is sharp all the way to the edge. Yeah, it's just a really nice package. So I forgot to mention, the detent ball is actually one of those flat detent balls that I was trying to tell you about from the last one. You can see how it's kind of flat there. It's not rounded. That was the same case with the what was it? The Mini Stingray, the Galloway Mini Stingray. So this is only, I think, my second knife that didn't have a straight up detent ball, and I definitely like it. It makes for really nice flipping action. I think that's about it, guys. Really nice. As far as value goes, that's a tough one. I found this one for $1,200, which is a bargain for this knife, but it's not a bargain for this knife, if you know what I mean. They go for a lot more, but I don't know that you could say that this is 100% worth that much money. That is the secondary market, though. I don't know what Gerry charges for these. They are extremely well made, all fitted by hand. Everything's done by hand, so it is a custom, full custom. Comparing this to, say, like the Proline Mini XO, you can pay $500 for one of those. $500, $550 for one of those from most of the big knife websites, and I think you still get Gerry's hands on those things, fitting them and I would say that that's probably a much better value as far as your dollar goes. But I mean, if you have the money and you're looking for a Gerry McGinnis custom, if you have the money to spend, then by all means, the quality's going to be there. You're going to be blown away, you know, by the details, and the way he dials in these detents is crazy. So yeah. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next video. Take it easy.